Hey, what's up, YouTube? It is your boy, it is your homie, it is your old pal Bro Dog Games back here with another video. And in today's video, it is a story time. Get some Gatorade before this story time. Anyway, so I've been wanting to tell this story for a while, and it's something I am not proud of. Anyway, because it was my fault. Anyway, this story time takes place November 22nd, 2024. I was chilling in school. I was having a pretty good day. It was a normal day at school. It was not bad. Anyway, once I got back from school is when stuff really starts to happen. So once I got back from school, I was really thirsty because I just had a long day at school, so I wanted something to drink. And I didn't like the school's fountains that much. I didn't like our vending machines that we had. So I just wanted to get something at the gas station. So I went in and I got a Jolly Rancher green apple flavored C4, and I drank like quite a bit of it. Anyway, I went back in my car, and I was planning to drive home completely normally. Now, there was this girl who went to my school. I didn't know it was her. Just gonna call her Emma for the sake of the story. Emma was a year older than me. She was parked right next to me, and she was like 3 inches away from me because like the parking lot was like squeezed together, and I could kind of understand why, because there was like at least 10 cars in a very small gas station. And you guys might not think that's a lot in a bigger gas station, but in a smaller one with like terrible parking and a little parking space, it's very bad. Anyway, everybody was just kind of like fused together. So I was waiting for her in the gas station to finish up her order because I didn't want to risk anything. And once after like 5 minutes goes by, I was just like, you know what? I've been waiting 5 minutes. I'm just gonna go. And once I went, I was doing good at first, backing out of the driveway, or whatever you would call it. It's not even like a drive. It's not even a driveway. It's a parking lot. Oh my god. Or like the thing they consider a parking lot, because it's a terrible parking lot. Anyway, as I was backing out of the parking lot, I was doing really good at first. Not really good, but like I was doing good at first. But then, like, I turned too far to the right, and then I hit Emma's car. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck, oh, fuck. And then I heard this thing just fly up in the air. The whole front came off, and my radiator was hanging on by a thread. And I was like, oh, no. And when I looked out, I was like, dude, what the fuck? And then my buddy Colson came up, and he was like, oh shit. And then he parked it straighter for me, and it looked even worse. But I appreciated him because he kind of got out of the way from everybody else. Anyway, I ultimately had to tell Emma. And once I got into the gas station, I told Emma, and I was like, hey, I have no idea how to put this, but I just crashed into your car. And she was like, what? And then I was like, yeah. And then I took her outside, and she looked at it and she was like, oh. And she was just essentially shocked, and I was like, I'm sorry. And then she was like, oh my. And she looked at my car and she was like, whoa. Because I got the worst of it. I mean, hers, she only had like a dent in it. She only had a few scratches. It wasn't that crazy. My whole front was off and the radiator was messed up. So I had the most damage. I'm kind of glad because that's kind of karma for me rather than her. Obviously, she had some damage, but obviously, I'm the one who ran into her, so I deserve the bigger, like punishment. So, anyway, she calls her mom, and she was like, I'm gonna call my mom, and I was like, okay. And I don't remember any of the conversation that they had. It was other than like her mom told her that this should be another one of those life lessons for you, and I could completely understand why, because this should be a perfect example of something you should not do. You should not just aimlessly like drive into somebody going like, I was so stupid. I was turning to the right, bro. I was so dumb. Anyway, she was like, yeah. And then they ultimately hung up, and then I called my dad. I thought my dad was going to be furious, first of all, because it was originally his. So I did call him. And I was like, hey Dad, I have no idea how to put this, but I crashed into somebody's vehicle at a gas station. And he was like, oh shit. That was basically his reaction. And then I was like, yeah. And then he was like, how much damage is done to it? And I was like, the whole front is gone off and the radiator is gone. Yeah. And he was like, oh no. And then he was like, well, the only way I can get to you is someone giving me a ride. And luckily, his buddy, I'm just gonna call him Tommy was off work, so he could come pick my dad up. And while they were in that process, he was like, alright, I'll see you later once, I'll call Tommy and see if he can help. So, after I got off the phone with my dad, Emma ultimately decides to call the cops because they wanted to it's their job to basically like scan the car and all that. So she called the cops. The cops came at the gas station, and once they did, they basically were looking at the vehicles, all the damage that was done to each of them, took a picture of both our driver's license, proved that the vehicle was actually ours, make sure we didn't have any fake IDs or whatever. Anyway, once he got done with that, my dad called me back and he was like, alright, we're on our way. And I was like, okay, good, thank you. And I was like, how long are you gonna be? He was like, 15 to 20 minutes. And I was like, perfect. So the cop, I think, stayed there, or did he? I forgot. I think he I think he left. He left, and he was like, yeah, well, that's all I can really do. Or, I don't know if he said that. I don't think he did, but he just, like, drove off because there wasn't, like, much he could do. Anyway. So me and Emma were just waiting for my dad to arrive. I didn't know where her mom was. I thought she was gonna get picked up before me, but she ended up getting picked up after me, or whatever the case is, maybe. But, anyway. Thought I was gonna sneeze. Anyway, yeah, me and Emma were just talking for a little bit, having a conversation, and we ultimately just went to the gas station, talked to the cashier, not doing much else. And then after that, we went back outside, and then my dad pulls up. Actually, before that, my friend pulled up, and he helped me out with the car, putting the parts back on, and he was like, dude, you're a dumbass. And I'm like, dude, I know. I fucking know, dude. And then once he left, my dad arrived soon after, and he said, hey son, and I was like, what's up? So, I ultimately drove the car over there, and I put it onto the trailer, and they had it strapped, and I was inside of this gas station talking to Emma, and once we were finished having our conversation, I went back out to have Emma talk to my dad and Tommy. So Tommy essentially strapped the car down and made sure it was properly strapped, so it wouldn't like go back or anything, hit another vehicle behind it or something. But it was perfectly strapped. After I parked it on there. And then my dad had to talk to Emma's mom, so he did. And after that, I hugged Michelle and said, I'm sorry, I never wanted this to happen. And she was like, it's fine. So after that, we we're done with that situation. Emma went back to doing her business. I went back to doing mine. So Emma, I don't know how she got picked up, but that was the end of that side. Moving back onto my side, I was with my dad and Tommy. So they were driving in this Tommy's Chevy. It was an old school one, I'd say about like 1990-ish, and it still went from A to B. It had a little leg room, but it was fine. I was riding in the back. It had a little leg room, but it was okay. It wasn't gonna be that long. Anyway, we were on the way to work, and or not work, but home, and I get this random call from my coworker. I think they heard about this somehow, but they asked if I would be able to work, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. And my dad was like, well, what time do you work? And I was like, well, I work at 4 o'clock. And he was like, oh, we'll have a random one by then, it'll be okay. So I told my coworker that I could work at 4. And she was like, oh, okay, great, thank you. Hope you're okay. And I was like, I'm fine. So I hung up with her. I had multiple people texting me because I just posted it on my Snap story. Um, yeah, it was crazy. So once Tommy drove us to the house, it was another one of those things. So this, um, you couldn't open the doors like on this trailer because it was like it had like these like two like panel like things on the side to where if you open the door it will like dent the door essentially if you smack it too hard. So you had to like go in the back. You couldn't open the door, so I had to open the trunk and get my skinny ass in there, which I ultimately did because I'm 160 pounds. So I just went in the front, and he was like, Tommy was ultimately like, okay, Brody, go really slow. So I did. I didn't even have my foot on the gas pedal. I was doing it like this. He was like, slow, slow, slow. He said slow like maybe 10 times, and it was kind of annoying because we didn't even have my foot on the gas pedal. I was just letting it go and slowly backing up. But once I got it on the ground, I was ultimately like, thank you, Tommy. And yeah. But I didn't knock any headlights out, and because that would have caused further more damage. Anyway, we had to take it to Laird Noller, and we had to get it fixed, and it took like a month for them to get it fixed. We ultimately had to ride in this Toyota Tacoma or whatever. It was terrible. But it was only for a month. And they got it fixed, and I still drive it to this day. Don't worry, I don't drive like that anymore. I am a lot more careful right now. Anyway, yeah, that was a crazy story. It was something I am not proud of, and me and Emma haven't really talked since then. Like, we kind of like spoke after that, but not really. It was just kind of like, hey, and yeah. But all in all, it's just an absurd story to talk about. Again, something I'm not proud of. And moral of the story, don't do it. Just don't. Yeah. It's just, and it was like a depressing time because like I remember talking about this because when I wrecked the vehicle, I took all the money out of my parents' account, so they couldn't pay for Christmas presents anymore, and it took a lot of money out of mine, and I couldn't have any anymore. So that was really terrible. So I got very few presents, but I still got some. Anyway, all in all, man, don't do it. Even though it was kind of funny looking back, I can't stress it enough, bro. It was just like a depressing time too, and yeah, that's the story, man. I mean, it was a nice car too. I mean, and I felt bad for Emma once I wrecked into hers. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys do enjoy. If you did, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. This video is really long. And yeah. I can make more story times if you guys want to. I can do quite a bit. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, subscribe, like, comment. I am talking so fucking much. Anyway, guys, I love you all. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.